All right. What is up? Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. My name is St. Kramer with Brian, and we got some special guests down here. We got the Coat Lords. We got J.R. and Dane.
Where are they?
The Coat Lords. Yeah, they're somewhere. They're somewhere. With his with that collection that JR is crazy.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. That is awesome.
This is not even half.
Yeah.
So
yeah. So how you guys doing? I appreciate you guys coming in. Saying, about to talk some House of Dragons. But.
Yeah. Thanks for inviting us. I always watch your live streams, and so for you guys to invite us to your live stream, that's pretty cool.
I appreciate that.
Happy to be here. This is our first time ever we've done it with somebody else.
Right.
That's cool.
You guys are our first.
Yeah,
I think you always remember your first. You always remember first.
Yeah, when we're both in Hollywood on a stage, we'll remember this moment in the off camera and behind the curtains.
So you remember that time we did that stream with 4 people watching?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
Good times.
Yeah, that's how it is. Well, like the YouTubers, all those YouTubers, like now they're huge when they all started like doing stuff together when they were little, and then now they're massive. So but it works out. I like talking to other people that like talking about like stuff that like House of Dragons and She-Hulk and watching trailers and stuff like that. So it's definitely a lot more fun when you get a lot more different ways people see it. Because there's a lot of times I've saw something, and then one of these guys will just like, oh yeah, I saw it that way, and I'm like, oh shit, that makes more sense, So.
Oh wait, hold on a second. Are we allowed to swear on this show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. Yeah.
We're not allowed to on our show usually.
On our show, we try to keep it PG-13. So.
Yeah, we usually do. We just try not to drop the F-bomb every other word.
Yeah, as long as if it's needed, sometimes it's needed.
Oh yeah, we'll drop it hard.
All right.
But, yeah, you can curse. It's not that big of a deal. So
cool.
I think YouTube allows you to have 1 or 2 before they're like, hold on.
Right.
Yeah. So
usually whose parents are watching the show is usually the dictation.
Exactly.
I mean, this is gonna be House of Dragons. So if your kid's watching House of Dragons. Whatever we're saying about it can't be that bad.
You said ass. Like
I know.
Saw one on the show. What are you talking about?
That's Well, that's the magic of that show. Every once in a while, they'll drop some modern swear. I'm like, I don't think they use the F-bomb. And
that doesn't make any sense at all.
In High Valerian, they've got like, Fergernir or something like that. I don't know.
They make up some words.
Right.
Yeah. So, but in honor of you guys, because you guys always take a drink before each show, so we're all taking a little drink. I got some Kentucky whiskey.
Is that Jefferson's? I can't tell the bottle.
Ryan, what was that? Like moonshine?
Yeah, that's a great one.
Moonshine.
You're gonna have to take that one on the out with Lord Corrales. He probably You got moonshine? Well, I don't have a shot with me, so it's just going straight from the bottle.
Oh,
that's the best way to do it. Then a very fitting. Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Woo.
Charcoal smooth.
Yeah. At least I think this is the first time we did a shot that's not at 10 a.m.
I
Yeah.
know.
Usually with our sports one, we take a morning spike, or on the morning spike, we take a spike bet. So we're like 2-3 shots deep sometimes before kickoff on a Sunday. So
It's so funny.
that's fun. That's fun.
And then 2 a.m. it's nappy time, right?
That's when you watch football's watching you. Right about that.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to keep drinking to stay awake for the football games.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like I said, we're watching we're talking about House of Dragon, episode 2. So we're gonna give a little quick recap, and then we're gonna talk about our likes, dislikes, and then at the end we're gonna give our like predictions, any kind of wild predictions, something that we expect, something crazy like is the Mountain's grandfather gonna show up. I just pulled that out. But that would be cool.
That'd be great.
I was gonna say, well, I mean, you got Doctor Who there. He could just
he could
it back. I mean, it's all ready to go. It's queued up. There you go.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh god, I can imagine. But we'll start off with a quick recap. I keep it usually kind of simple. I don't get into details because I'm sure when we talk, we're gonna get some of the details. But basically, this episode it started off with. How did it start off? If you guys help me out.
The small council.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So they're trying to figure out what's going to happen. He needs a new heir, a new wife to make new babies. And that's kind of the main part of this whole episode is he needs a wife so he can have more babies, so he can have more heirs and stuff like that. But meanwhile, his daughter that's going to be queen is still serving alcohol, like serving drinks, like a waitress, which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
But so they kind of go back and forth, and they figure out the Valerian guy, or not? Yeah, he offered his daughter, who was like, what, 12, which is messed up.
12.
That's prime time back then. I mean,
that walk with them was so embarrassing. Like I was embarrassed for him. I was like, "Wow, how do you even talk to a 12-year-old?"
I know.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Yeah.
At least Brian, she didn't have to consummate anything for 2 years.
I know. So. Wow, 2 whole years.
Yeah.
So she was 14.
Her mom said, "That's okay. Well, you just wait a little while."
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait for your baby teeth to come out first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the wisdom teeth kick in, then you'll know.
That's why they're called wisdom teeth. But yeah, and then so that's the kind of main thing is what he's gonna do after get a new wife, and then the brother Matt Smith's character Damien kind of starts to rebel a little bit and kind of wants to swing his sword around with his new Golden Cape followers. So he kind of stole an egg and did some stuff, and now it's like, what's gonna happen? The king is upset. How do you pronounce the daughter's name? Like the Rhaenyra, right? Okay, yeah, Rhaenyra. So I think
Rhaenyra is the princess Rhaenyra, but Rhaenyra, right?
Rhaenyra is the queen that never was, right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
No, Rhaenyra is the queen that never was.
Yeah.
Oh, and Rhaenyra
is.
It's like, thanks, George. Confusing everybody.
I have to know exactly who's what. I'm like, all right. I know Damon. I know Corlys. I know Otto.
Well, that's like Dane and I were talking about how all these names in the Targaryens' names are Rhaenyra and Viserys, but you go up north and they're like Ned Stark, John Stark. All the names easy to,
They keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is funny. It's like we already got to deal with cold. We don't got to deal with pronunciation.
Yeah.
Nice and short.
Some of these names are ridiculous.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if there was as much action as there was in the first one.
Yeah.
But just overall, how'd you guys like it? Any likes or dislikes?
I had this exact conversation with my compadre over here. Not enough action in this series, in this particular episode. It was all talk.
And I said that's okay, isn't it, Brian?
Exactly. I said, well, it's less highs, right? There are less highs. That first episode was a lot of highs. There's a lot of stuff they're throwing at you. Oh no, it's a dragon! But there's a lot of things they're throwing at you. All these great things. This was just kind of complex and starting to understand the labyrinth they're creating. And I think that was important to be able to see how every decision is going to have these other things that are going to branch off because of it. And now why these people are going to start joining together and how these wars, because I think there's going to be 4 or 5 wars that are going to be fought while they're happening.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I thought this episode was really cool because I don't know, before Rhaenyra, was coronated to be the heir, did she show ambition? Did she show the intelligence that she has, or is it just now that all of a sudden she's getting involved, right? Like when Corlys is in there arguing about his ships, are getting sunk, and he's asking for help from Viserys, and Viserys is like, no, we can't really do anything. We don't want any wars. She's like, I say we bring the dragons down. You know what I mean?
It was cool. And she was like, look, we'll show a power.
Yeah.
And she was the real one. Like, yeah, I could be a king. I could be a queen.
Exactly. And when they asked her to go pick a new city guard, she went down there, and you could see the hand of the king is trying to make her pick a certain knight for political reasons. But she's like, all right, who here has real combat experience? And it only was one person, and she chooses that one. So you see her ambition, you see her leadership, and you see her intelligence all in this episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah. So we got Derpy. What's up, Derpy? So we got a little soundbite just for Derpy. He's always in here. There you go, Derpy. What's up? There's no way. But yeah, I definitely agree. Like Rhaenyra, right? Yeah, she was really awesome because I like that she was still the daughter of the king and that lost their mother, so she had that like, hey, we're still a family, we need to talk about this. But at the same time, she's like, hey, I know what's going on. You need to find a new queen, and you need to do this. Which why I loved the how it ended. Where he announces who's going to be his new wife.
That ended was that?
I watched them too. The crossover. I was check that out. There you go. Yeah, Derpy. Derpy checks out the Cult Lords.
Oh, thanks, Derpy.
Oh,
except we can't cross the streams.
Awesome, Derpy. Thanks so much.
Yeah, Derpy's awesome. He's always here. He's our bot killer whenever we get those weird bots in the live stream. But yeah, she was super cool because at the end she was like, I get you have to do this for the kingdom. You have to do this to show that you're a good leader and stuff. And she's like, you make the decision. And then when she was cool.
Yeah, no, she was cool when she thought it was going to be her little niece, the little 12-year-old. Okay, well, we got 2 years. Everything was cool. Yeah. She understood. Yeah. I understand responsibility. But as soon as it was her friend who didn't say anything to her about that relationship that they've had, oh boy, that look on her face. I wish I could pause and look. The look that she had was amazing. Like the acting was so great, but she was just pissed. And I have 2 daughters. I know that look. That look is something strange. You don't want to do it. Like I think Viserys said, he said, I'd rather deal with the black dragon than my daughter sometimes. Right. That was that look right there.
So, Brian, I thought it was also
Brian,
real quick, I thought it was also
I was just curious, Brian, what do you think the relationship is between Rhaenyra and her friend? What is her name? Dane?
Allison.
Allison. What is that relationship exactly?
See, I think it was complex. I think it was they grew up together, but then she was the only one she can really confide in, and it started to grow to be more. And that's what we saw in the episode 1. That with her head on her lap and all those things. And now she has to watch her father be with the person who was her best friend, yes, but a little bit more than that.
A little bit more.
And because she's 15 years old, and you felt that relationship, and that hurt was so different. And she opened up to her about her mother, and they were going through the same thing. And she finally let down that guard that she's been holding up for 6 months. And now, not even a week later, find out, oh, you're going to marry my father?
Yeah.
And I have a curfew? No.
I simply have a curfew? Thanks, Mom. Mom.
Yeah. But I thought it was that too, like betrayal from her, but also like her upset at the dad for making like a not strategic move. she's like, yes, do what's best for the kingdom. And he did that. It's like, that's not what's best for the kingdom. That's what is selfish. That's a selfish move.
Yeah.
And it's also like pisses her off even more because
I think that hurt her.
That. So,
that hurt her.
So I think it was like a double whammy. It's like, listen, you're supposed to be a leader and you're supposed to be my friend, and you both are making this. It was like, yeah, she's gonna be super pissed.
I mean, the Hightowers, I mean, that's still, you know, a great match. Maybe not. It's not
really, because Otto is just a guy. You know, he's just a dude. He has no real power.
He's the brother of the leader of the Hightower, you know, world or whatever you want to call it.
The clan, yeah, but he's
the family.
I thought that without him, he was losing power. So he had to get his daughter in somehow because he had no other male heir. Mm-hmm. So there was nothing. He was going to lose power. He was going to lose standing. And of all the people, he was just another one. Was it Corlys? Is that his name? Corlys had all the power, has the navy, has everything, and has Targaryen blood. So it made no sense to not go with that person.
Dane, it's like
he's going to die anyway.
Except she's 12.
Yeah, but he's going to die regardless. She's going
to mature. She's going to mature.
Dane, it's like, do you want the owner of Harold's Chicken Shack or do you want Elon Musk? Right. Both powerful guys, but a little bit of a difference in between that, right? So
I don't know. Is Elon 12 and the other one's 24? I'm not sure.
Oh, she's 15.
So yeah, she's like 16.
There's like
the Hightower. The Hightower.
Oh yeah. You know, and that's the thing.
Allison is 15.
Yeah, in the book, she's actually 10 years older than Rhaenyra.
Really?
In the show, they've kind of equaled her out. They're ambiguous about that, but yeah, in the book, she's. Not that I read it, but I did do research. She's like 10 years older. So, yeah, they deliberately – that's the beauty of this show is that because Mr. RR is executive producer, he's kind of giving him carte blanche to where, okay, you can change this. Let's put this in here. I never discussed in this book. Let's slip this in. So, but that's great because anyone who's read the books is going to be surprised too, right?
Isn't that what you want though? In a show, you don't want it to follow exactly the same as the book.
Right. I agree.
Talk about The Boys. The Boys is so enthralling because you don't know exactly what's going to happen. You kind of know the gist about it, but you don't know exactly what way they're going to go. And I think that's what is important to do. You know, you need to take your own liberties. You don't want to necessarily follow exactly what the book is, because then what's the point of me going to see or watching your show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Here, I got this for George R. Martin.
George R. Martin.
I love that one. But what about some bad things? I mean, besides the 12-year-old thing, I mean, that's more of a Game of Thrones thing rather than because I think I could be wrong in the book. Somebody, I think it was my girlfriend, told me that like Dany in the book is like 14. You know, like she was 14 when she went to go marry Drago or Drago, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
well, that was a bit. Yeah. But they made a big thing about that because you remember when she was walking in with her whatever that despicable brother was who gets the gold crown.
Yeah.
I mean, it was basically he was like selling off his sister there.
Yeah, for an army, but but George R. likes to mess with very young kids.
It's like everyone's married to each other's sisters and brothers, and you know that leads to a little bit of cuckoo-ness along the line.
So before you get to what we didn't like,
I got something.
Let's talk about one more thing that I did like.
Yeah,
and that is the showdown on the bridge where Otto Hightower.
I was so on it. Yeah,
right. And Daemon have their armies there. Daemon brings out his dragon. And, you know, all of Otto Hightower's men, they have their swords out. When Otto Hightower sees the dragon, he's like, sheathe those swords, right? But they don't want to mess with that dragon. But then all of a sudden in the distance, what do you hear? You hear another dragon. And they made a cool effect. There was like a fog out into the ocean. And you saw that ripple effect coming like Jaws. And boom, there's Rhaenyra on her dragon against her dad's wishes to be there. But when she landed and you had dragon on dragon, changed the entire, discussion there, right?
It was so cool and so strong of her to do that. And then the way she even approached it, like she walked past everyone else like, you guys are nothing. And right to her uncle, hey, I'm the one who did this. It's my fault. If you want to take me now. I'm the one. And you could tell they are cut from the same cloth. They are that relationship is so special. You can already tell just in the small things we've seen, and you knew he was going to back down immediately. There's no way he could do anything else to her. She's the one person that he's going to be like, okay, I'm not going to sit here and fight an army. I'm not going to fight you, because it seems like real love for her.
Well, she popped his balloon. I mean, he basically was just doing a giant posturing.
Yeah.
You know, I took your egg, your son's egg, Baelor, son for a day. I'm inhabiting Dragonstone when I'm not really supposed to. And I've declared I'm going to get married to this common whore over here. And we're having a baby.
So win.
Deal with it. Yeah, right. And oh, by the way, she doesn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. The whole time she's looking like, what you say? Like,
Huh?
I didn't know about this. But yeah, that whole thing was really good, because I think it was more impactful from her than the king, because I think he was expecting the king, because he's like, I can out, like posture you,
my brother. I know you.
Yeah, with her, he's like, I love you. You're my niece, and I mean, there are Targaryens, so maybe other feelings, but
but they're so much alike.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Like,
yeah.
And I think that's what we're going to see in the future of these episodes, is how alike they are, how that really bonds them. And I don't think it's the fight that we see, like the war that's coming right now. The sides have not been drawn. The sides are just beginning right now. And Damon, first of all, it might be my second favorite character in all of this right now.
Right.
But he's going to hold so much weight in the future. Like, that's going to be huge between him and Corlys having an alliance, and then him and Rhaenyra actually, having a good relationship, always having a good relationship. Even when he came in, he didn't talk to anybody else but her. So like, there's something there with them that we're going to see really develop, and I think that's going to be the big future that we're going to have.
Yeah.
Them too.
You revealed something there. Wait, Corlys and Daemon have an agreement now?
Something we didn't talk about, but yeah.
Spoiler!
Well, there you go.
Yeah, nothing else was a spoiler until this.
Yeah, right. Don't tell anybody.
I always love those memes where where they do like random pictures, and it's like, oh, here's spoilers without spoiling, and it's like Mr. Krabs biting like SpongeBob, and then another one with like just a jar of the maggots. And then the one I sat and I looked at, and it took me way too long to figure out, was a football player catching a football, and I'm like, I don't get it. And then finally, it catching
the egg. He rugby. I don't know what the term. Rugby punted it to her.
Yeah, like just like right under.
It would have been awesome if she had gone up like like a running back, like like this, or
spike it.
That
or she like
do the little dance,
or he was like, "Come and get it."
Any other good things before we get into some of the dislikes?
Well, I do want to ask you guys about, at the beginning and the end, they capped it off with a crab problem.
Yeah.
They show the men out, the sailors that have been crashed, at sea, and whoever that is, that guy with the Mankind
King,
mask,
whatever he is.
if you watched Mankind in wrestling, he's got that he's like nailing these guys right to the post and just letting the crabs eat these guys, So that was pretty gruesome.
And JR, you brought up an interesting point about his mask. I mean, you remember that his mask is all like beat up, and did you guys notice he has grayscale?
Yeah.
Was it? Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I mean, his mask is actually a couple of things, but there's a harpy horn coming out of one side. So it's one of the harpy masks, supposedly, that's been, shows up somewhere else. I don't know where it is, but yeah, he's got grayscale, so he's going cuckoo a little bit. And on that note, what does the king have? What is that? He had that nice oozing pus thing on his back last week, and this week he's got the pinky.
It's the stinky pinky.
Say pinky's out. It's usually pinky's off for him.
Yeah.
Oh man, but I think that's one thing they took from the book, which they really didn't do in Game of Thrones, where like you don't sit on the throne comfortably. You know, it's like you poke and and prick yourself a lot. So
Yeah,
I like that they did that,
and that the tetanus and all that stuff is going to come through and go through your body. That's why no one could be a king for forever, because that the Iron Throne is going to kill you one way or another. You're either going to die of old age, die of tetanus or something like that, or you're going to die in a battle. That's it.
So Brian, you better watch yourself there. You're very close.
Yeah, right behind you. Yeah.
Oh.
Tank, I watched your review last week, and you said that last episode made you appreciate modern medicine a lot more, right? Because of the C-section that went bad.
Oh my God, that was
the wound that wouldn't, and now you're using maggots to slough off the dead skin. You know what I mean? So
well, I mean that still works, but my thing is, no one heard of needle and thread. I'm just saying, you see all these things that are being stitched together. No one thought we could do that with the skin.
Yeah.
I mean,
they just cauterize. Heat up your sword.
That's what I was saying.
Basically, brand everybody.
Yeah. It's like so. I was in nursing school. I got my nursing degree and all that stuff. It's weird how people didn't figure things out. You know what I mean? like it took a nurse, like, hey, everyone keeps dying after you go and mess with the dead people, and then you go help the people in the hospital and they all get sick. It took a nurse like, hey, maybe you should wash your hands between the dead people and the live people. And that's not even that long ago in history. Like that's
that was Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Yeah.
Was it?
They did a whole thing about that where she did something about that.
You know what's interesting is I'm going to reference another show right now, but there's a show on the History Channel called The Coliseum, where I don't know if you've seen any commercials for it. And they're like 7 episodes in, and it's like a documentary. But there was a famous surgeon back in that time, 2,000 years ago, named Galen. And they said that he's the first person that realized he had like scalpels and knives. He was the first person that realized you got to sterilize these before you use them.
Mm-hmm.
So he would boil them and then go and operate on the gladiators. But then that knowledge got lost. And then for the next 1,000 years, nobody was doing that, So it's kind of interesting, You would think people would figure that out.
Or just use alcohol. I'm not saying that's what I'm saying. You don't have to use clean water. I understand you're not having, but alcohol you have everywhere.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's the humors.
Yeah.
What can you do?
Oh man, but yeah, definitely modern medicine. This show definitely love it. You definitely appreciate it.
Especially the person who's about to have a child pretty soon, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my God, yes.
That's why I was like, the first episode we were watching with him, I was like,
you didn't watch it with your girlfriend, did you?
Yes. She looked at me. She goes, "What the hell?" I'm like, "I didn't know."
Yeah.
She's like,
"Thanks for traumatizing me."
Well, take it. When you have your child, you need to put a dragon egg with it.
Go ahead.
You need to put a dragon egg with your baby when your baby's born.
Exactly.
They have to have a plushie of that, right? I mean, I gotta find one now. Gotta find one. Put a little crappy blonde wig on him.
Yeah.
like all
just
the other
call
ones.
up Dane, he's got him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I do love that when you guys like dress up and stuff, and when you were the Targaryen for that whole episode. Yeah. Love that.
You will see. He might make another appearance.
Make another appearance.
Yes. We're just gonna get JR more in his Tusken Raider outfit.
Or my Freddy Krueger.
Yeah. Just get him a dragon hat or something, and there you go.
There you go.
The Targaryen and the dragon.
Yeah.
You can wear the. This looks like a dragon back here. Where's my hand? No, this way, right here.
Oh, there you. Yeah, kind
That's
of.
the Gorn.
That's the Gorn. No. He's just hanging out.
Yeah. Oh, so I gotta link that one. When you wore that the entire review, that was the best. I couldn't stop laughing. Was it what was it? It
was Halloween Ends.
Yeah. Because you guys were dressed up. Oh, that was, and you were the Tusken Raider.
I love doing that stuff.
That's good.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, it is a hassle because you got to figure out the mic and the camera and all the other stuff that goes along with it. But it's fun.
I wanted him to post after our credits. I wanted him to post. We kept the camera running after we cut. And then we're ripping off our mask and we're sweating profusely. I'm just like going, oh my God, I'm so glad to get out of this, right? And I said, you gotta cut that footage in at the back just so people. And he's like, no, that shows everybody like what we're doing behind the scenes. So we didn't do it.
Gotta keep the magic. Gotta keep the magic curtain going here.
That's fun. There's another guys that I watch that do something kind of like, I mean, not like that, but they do their bloopers at the end, and the Gadunk. So go check them out too. They do their review and all that stuff, and at the end they do their bloopers, and some of them are pretty funny. They're getting like tongue tied or saying something really stupid. Right. So I enjoy stuff like that though. But well, the problem is when you do these more and more, you get really good at doing them. So there's not that many bloopers. That's the catch, right? We have a lot of the early ones where we included some of the bloopers because we would do like, I don't know 8 takes on something, and then we're like, do it again.
Do it all just in one take.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. That's why we usually keep everything, unless it's really, really bad. I'll cut it out, but for the most part,
just let it go. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But what about some bad stuff? What are stuff that you guys didn't like about this episode? What do you guys think?
Well, we've already talked about the no action happening in this episode. I mean, I'm okay with setting up and but it's just like they had opportunities. They could have had something where like they demonstrated the crab king or whatever his name is, the crab feeder, actually going out and catching the people and then spiking them to the thing, and they hinted at it, but they could have shown something.
They showed a little bit of them.
They showed a little bit of it, but I mean, for Corrales to come into the king's chamber in this, in the small council and make such a huge like, come on, let's go. I'm getting killed here. They didn't really put enough like, they didn't set it up.
To give you set up, that makes sense.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
So
like you should have been more empathetic for him.
Well, the reason I feel like they did that because I feel like episode 3 is going to be so much action because Damon's about to take it to him. We already know what Damon's going to do with he has his army. Oh my God, that's going to be blood everywhere. He is going to kill everybody.
Speaking of blood, what did you think of the opening?
The crab eating through the skin.
No, the intro.
The intro that showed the blood running through like. The sigils.
You're like riding it at one point. It was like the rapids,
Yeah.
Gonna get through it.
Surfboard.
Yeah. So you guys think that's a big precursor to the blood that's gonna happen later in this this series? So.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Well, also it looked like it was like all the bloodlines were connecting too. Yeah. So it was like not only blood shed, but also a lot connecting into one stream kind of thing. So I'm like, it is Targaryen, so you get a lot of that anyway. I thought about that.
Well, on your point there, what were those sigils? What were those things? Because I looked them up, and we both looked them. We were trying to figure out, like, obviously the last one was the Targaryen, but we couldn't figure out whoever all the other ones were. They weren't showing up anywhere. So
I don't know, unless because a lot of the Game of Thrones, like the original one, we didn't know things until like season 2. Like, oh, that's what that meant, So I wonder if like they're just symbols for different characters that we don't
or different families, like the Hightowers or the Valerian, or that's what I thought was, all the different people, all the different houses there are part of this his king's court. They're all going to be intermingling because, I mean, Rhaenyra is going to take a husband one day, and then that's going to probably be from another house, or how all these things are going to be intermingled, and then how we know now Jon Snow why he doesn't have white hair. I mean, just so many things are going to be intermingling and stuff like that. So
that's what I would assume too. I mean, when you look at some of them, you're like, this doesn't tie into anything that we know about, and it doesn't show up online. So. But I'm sure there's a reader of one of these ridiculous books, which is propping up my laptop right now, that could tell us.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. It was like, oh, that meant this, and there's that, and do that, So
if you can, leave a comment. I want to hear. I want to see it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick your brain.
Well, I mean, that's if you were able to open it.
I know.
Yeah, pull out a cookie. Yeah, I don't know. Too many other bad things about this one. I'm trying to think.
Not very bad, but just the actual just the deception and the pain that I know that Rhaenyra must have felt when Alicent, was named the person that her father's going to marry. I mean, that is just the deception, the heartbreak, all that was just, it made me feel for her really bad, especially because part of my favorite moments were like the father-daughter talks that they're finally having.
Right.
Like they hadn't talked in all that time. And then now we're finally opening up and I'm talking to you and I understand where you're coming from and you cut me that deep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now he can just say, let's hear what your mother has to say about it. So, bring in her best friend. No, I do have a question for you. Do you think that Hightower's daughter, like I've watched episode 1, I've watched episode 2, and I'm back and forth on, does she want Viserys or not want Viserys? I can't really tell because sometimes it looks like she's very caring. I got your action figure glued together. I brought you a book that I was going to read some passages from, but then sometimes it looks like she's a little taken back by him. You know what I mean?
Like, that's so special.
I can't really tell.
Dragging back together again for me.
She might be.
Like, this is all about Otto. I really feel like this is all about Otto. They're literally trying to play him to get in a better situation because they all know, especially Otto knows that Viserys is going to die soon. Yeah, Otto knows. He's just trying to put his name in the hat. And if his his daughter becomes queen, he has a way to the throne. That's all it really is.
Well, he's hoping his daughter becomes queen, then has a male heir, right? I mean, because
is she pregnant? Is she pregnant already? Because remember, they cut away from season 1. Episode 1.
First episode.
She already pregnant, and he dies, but she's already with child. So like she becomes queen, but it doesn't matter because everyone, if she has a male child, none of this matters. Everyone's gonna fight for the male being the heir.
Yeah.
So you haven't watched the specials then, right?
No.
No.
I won't say any more, but there's a lot revealed and look at future episodes so you can fill in the pieces on some of that. But
I don't want to see that.
Nah.
Right.
I enjoy watching
come then.
It's the butler. The butler did it.
Yeah.
And the candlestick in the bibliothèque.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have I'm sure that's our friend posting some stuff for you guys.
Bibliotech. He's from the French countryside.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So before we move on, we're gonna finish up with some predictions and stuff like that. But we're gonna let you guys know if you're watching. Make sure you check out the Cult Lords right there. There's the link down there. They're also in the description. Go check them out. They're doing trailer reactions all the time, and
you see the movies they watch. So they see the wall, so you know, what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
thank you.
So make sure you check out Cult Lords. But let's finish up with some predictions. Where do you guys want to see it go from here? Anything crazy? Anything a little bit more realistic?
JR already go ahead. You touched on it.
I'll go first. I want to see dragon on dragon action in fighting because when in this episode you basically had the two dragons just kind of standing off, looking at each other. Nothing happened. But in Game of Thrones, all the dragons were like related. So there was no dragon on dragon, although you did have the dead resurrected dragon fighting, but you didn't really see dragon on dragon fights. So I'm hoping that in the future, when there's a war, we got dragons on dragons fighting. So that would be cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, definitely. They kind of teased it already. So you got to see that. Yeah. What about anything, Dane, you want to see?
Well, I mean, we know Daenerys is going to definitely push her own agenda here with, trying to assert herself and show how intelligent she is and try to stay independent from all those men. Wait a minute, there's 4 men right here. And we need some ladies on the show one of these days. But I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing her pair off with Otto, Damon, her father, Sir Kristen. They kind of implied that there might be a love relationship going on there, but
yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Things never work out the way they work out. So, but it will definitely be cool to see Corrales and the Crab King, Crab Feeder. What's his name? Battling it out.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. What you got,
about you guys?
What I want to see. I want Dane and Rhaenyra to join forces. I want that so bad. I want that. I think that's going to be, because those are the 2 most dominating presences in all the show. They when they walk in the room, they still kind of dominate what's going on, and having them together. Oh, I hope that we get that a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah. So, I want to see.
Cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to see Jon Snow's sword. I want to see some stuff that like is callbacks to the show, but it's a prequel, so it's kind of like, oh, here's who has the White Wolf sword or whatever it's called. I can't remember. Here's it there. Here's who the guy had it.
You did see the cat's paw, I think it's called, dagger, right?
Yes, we did.
Yes, yeah, he's been wearing it on his on his belt.
And then there was something else that was referenced. Well, obviously the Dragonstone, like the chamber called I think it's the chamber when the painted table. That was a big, you saw that all the time in Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
With the dragons on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Dragonstone. Yeah. You saw that one a lot. But there was something
I think
else
in the first episode we saw the tree. Was it
right.
With the face in it?
Yeah.
We saw that one, and that was pretty cool. But yeah, I want to see something else. I want to see them talking about. Well, they kind of hinted at the White Walkers. Well, here's a question: are we going to see White Walkers either in the season or in the series at all?
I don't think so, because that's 300 years, 200, 172 years in the future. So
I don't think this is going to take us north. I don't think this series will take us north, but you never know, right?
Yeah. Right.
When are we going to get the time jump? That's what I want to know.
Well, I mean, and definitely this was 6 months later, so I have a feeling it's going to just keep doing that. I mean, Rhaenyra is not going to be young forever, so there's also going to be she's suddenly 22, and it's going to be a totally different person.
And that's why I was going to ask, because when you look at IMDb, you see that the older Rhaenyra is like in 8 or 9 episodes. So there's going to be flashbacks and stuff, but they're going to have to do a major time jump. So they're setting things up. That's what makes me think Viserys is going to die at any point in time. Soon he's going to die.
Yeah.
He set all this stuff up. Next episode, he's gone. And then now they're going ahead and...
Well, there hasn't been a major death yet, so it's coming.
And all this... But he's in 10 episodes too, so it's going to be a lot of flashbacks.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm expecting.
That's good. Yeah. I mean, it definitely. I mean, the funny thing is that they're already setting this up to be a giant Game of Thrones, whereas we already had that. But this seems to be you got Damon, Rhaenyra, Viserys. What's his name? Viserys, Alicent with her, maybe her having a kid. Corella. I mean, it's like this really is Game of Thrones, not Fire and Blood. So,
but I feel like it's going to become four definite teams. That's what we only want to get 4, and they're going to be all lines are drawn in the sand. And now we're going to, instead of having everyone vying for the throne, it's just going to be 4 sides, and it's not going to be who we think it's going to be.
Okay, kind of like that's how Game of Thrones finished.
Because that's how it finished, and I think that's where we're going to get here. We're not going to get like all this craziness. We're going to have just 4 sides, and that's going to be it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I see that.
Throw the free cities in there and Corrales and Valeria, and so.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm super excited. I like also we're getting like Valerian, because we heard it in Game of Thrones so much, like, oh, is that Valerian steel? And everyone like with like, you know, awe and gaw about like how great it is. And then now we have an actual Valerian, you know, in this one.
Right.
So it's like, so in that 170 something years, like, you know, is he the last one? You know, is he the end of his line kind of thing? Or, you know, so I wonder if they're gonna.
It can't be. So
Well, I mean, because Valerians are all gone, right? They're like extinct in Game of Thrones.
yeah, but you know, he has a
Am I
daughter
wrong?
and a son
Well,
already.
the land is extinct, but yeah, but there's still some. I mean, technically, Targaryens are Valerians from a realm standpoint, because Valeria was, you know, an actual kingdom that had, you know, all the volcanoes, and then the Great Doom happened, and then blew them all up, and then the Targaryens were able to survive over on Dragonstone, but there are still some.
But Corlys has a daughter and a son right now. So
right.
Corlys can't be
right now.
That can't be, you know, and she's going to get married off 8. Wouldn't it be a boss move if Daemon took Corlys' daughter and wed her?
Well, we were talking about that personally. Like, if that were to happen, would they have a good claim if nobody really, you know, was minding the new queen when she takes the throne? So,
but would Daemon be willing to take it away from her? And that's my only question.
I think if he could do it more politically rather than physically, I think he might.
I feel like he has a connection with her. There's something between them that I don't feel like he would ever come to harm her necessarily.
Yeah.
But he's going to make that choice. It's going to be that does he choose going to join the Valerian, which, as we said, we already know that most of them are dead, dying off, and they're dead. Maybe that's not the strongest one. Or does he follow his niece? And something happens there. I mean, that might be a strong, you know, connection too.
Why not Daemon and Rhaenyra get married? I mean, it seems to be the norm within this kingdom, right?
Why not? I mean, everyone else does it.
Yeah. But doesn't seem like that's going to happen. So
no.
Yeah.
I think he he likes slightly older women for one thing, and he sees her as a sister and not as a child bride.
Yeah.
Didn't you say that sisters and brothers were marrying before this? So they saw each other as sisters.
Well, they do it all the time. Yeah.
I mean, even for power reasons, that could be a good thing. Because as Viserys starts to see that his power is slipping, maybe he even calls to his brother and says, "Hey, why don't you go, you know, marry my daughter? Now our house is now the strongest again."
Yeah.
There's so many little things that you could do. So
it's gonna be interesting, man. I think hopefully we get a good solid 10 seasons out of this. If it carries as well as the original series did, I can see it lasting a while. Because no one asked Game of Thrones to finish. They're just like, nah, we're done. We're like, but we want more. And they're like, nah, we're done. We don't care.
I know.
Yeah.
That's because the two showrunners for Game of Thrones, I believe they thought they were going to be doing Star Wars.
Yeah.
So they were like rushing to get off of this to go do Star Wars. And then that fell through.
Because I think it's because the way Game of Thrones ended. So they shot themselves in the foot to go rush and go do that, but because they rushed and made a crappy ending, at least in my eyes, it's a crappy ending. There's some people that like it, but yeah, that's the reason why they're like, nah, we're good.
Yeah,
you don't know how to finish the story.
Everyone thinks number 4 was the ending, not the rest of them.
Exactly.
I mean,
I guess season 5 was all right. But season 8 was horrible. Or was that right? That's the last season?
I meant the 4th show on season 8. That's what I'm talking about. That was
stopped here.
They should have ended it right there, but nope. We got all these loose ends, and the queen has to go mad. So let's just artificially manipulate the storyline to get her in there.
Yeah,
she's really pissed. I'm gonna kill this entire city. You know.
Yeah. But that's a whole nother conversation of the Game of Thrones.
We digress.
Yeah,
we do this all the time on our show, by the way.
Yeah. Kind of have to catch yourself sometimes, otherwise you go down a huge rabbit hole.
Are you always looking at me when you say that?
You're like, I mean,
it's like
huge rabbit hole, Byron. Brian. Sorry, I gotta see. It's
Actually, my dad's name is Byron.
Is it Byron? Oh, okay. I keep seeing the Y.
The R and the Y for my dad.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, thank you guys for coming and hanging out and talking that. So I know your guys' episode 2 review is coming out this Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
Wednesday. So I'll probably release the edited version of this on Wednesday. So, we don't get anything too early. So you can watch your guys and come over and watch some more. So we'll do something like that. But also, make sure you go check out Cult Lords on YouTube. Check them out on Instagram over there. They're on Twitter and on Facebook. So make sure you go check them out. Check them out. All the socials. Check them out there. And then, in the description, we'll put all the links as well. So appreciate Martin. He's also one of our Nerd Huddle guys coming in and helping out with some of the backstage kind of stuff. So appreciate it, dude. But if you're watching on replay, appreciate it. Make sure you check out Cult Lords. Awesome guys. They put up content every day. They're super fun. Costumes. They do skits. All that good stuff. So check them out. But that is it for the Spoiler Kings episode 2 of House of Dragons. That is it. We will see you guys next week with episode 3.
See you guys.
And thank you, Spoiler Kings, forever.
Yeah.
Wait, over here.